Oh my gosh, just bought this brand new table saw back there. So this is an old table saw that I've got for 30 bucks. It's a Ryobi 10-inch blue table saw. It's worked out alright, but it's not the best. Like, it only doesn't go very far on this side, and the fence is just not that nice, and the previous owner has just right friggin' smashed that with the blade. And it's just not that straight, and things rub there, but like not in the middle. So now comes the tricky part of uninstalling it from my workbench. That's a decent amount of sawdust. Now, what should I do with it? So much of it. Damn. It's an incredible amount of sawdust. I'll just push it right onto the floor. And then I can broom it outside later. See the pieces of, like, the old... when I cut off the stupid tabs to stop you from making custom inserts. Saw is a considerable bit heavier. Considerably more heavy than the previous saw. Alright, looks like we're gonna... yeah, it's a little bit... just slightly bigger than the other saw. So, the nice thing about this saw is that it comes with some safety measures, like these anti-kickback prawl thingies, then this blade guard. But you know what? That's just like... I can't use a lot of the tools that I use. A lot of the jigs, like screw advance box joint jig, even a thing as simple as a table saw sled will not work with one of these things on. But luckily this saw has a handy dandy storage compartment for these. The anti-kickback prawls go right about here. And they lock in with a clever locking mechanism. And on this side, the blade guard gets installed. Oh shit. Then it just locks in, and it's there. It even has a spot for the miter gauge, which is a nice thought, because that cheap Ryobi saw, it didn't have a spot for these, and so there is no easy way for the owner to keep these necessary items with the saw. Alright, now let's take a look at the riving knife. Actually, let's take the whole insert out. It has a nicer insert, but it would still be somewhat difficult to make a zero clearance insert out of wood. So let's raise up the blade a bit. So it has an adjustable riving knife with a lever in here. You can raise and lower the riving knife with relatively easily, so that it sticks out just... I've never really had a saw with a riving knife, so I'd put it right about so it's level with the top of the teeth, so that you can do non-through cuts. Okay, now let's see if we can get that... oh, it has little stops here, so you have to put it in level intervals. So it looks like you get almost 3.5 inches of cut. Now if we take a look at this pinion thingy back here, I know it's not the correct term, but it looks a lot like what was on the whatchamacallit, the Maximum table saw that Matthias Wandel had, and if you grab hold of the back of the mechanism here, it can wobble back and forth a bit, so maybe not the best mechanism, but still probably better than the Ryobi one that I had before. Now, something else interesting about this saw is the way that the lift mechanism works. instead of the traditional way where the whole the whole thing will just tilt back and forth, this actually runs along two runners here. That's one, and then that's the other. And then a threaded rod coupled through these gears will lift and lower the saw. Now, this is very prone to binding if you don't put grease on there. It was like pretty much binded up pretty good. It was pretty hard to move when I originally got the saw, but I put some fancy bike oil grease on there because I ran out of WD-40, and it seems to work okay now. Now, one kind of annoying thing about this saw is how close the lift knob is to the switch right here, because you can like end up hitting your hand on there if you're like trying to get it from the side. Like, that's no fun at all. But if you're standing in front of the saw, it's pretty easy to get it without bumping your hand on it. Oh boy, this draws the full 15 amps. The other saw only drew 13 amps. So this might be a little harder on that poor little power strip over there and all the extension cords. There are 15 gauge, what am I saying? There are 14 gauge extension cords, so hopefully they'll hold up. I should really wire something more permanent over there. I know I'm saying that a lot of things about the saw are interesting, but something else interesting is that this is only a 2-prong cord, so you could theoretically plug this into a wimpy little, like, I don't know, one of these extension cords that's just like powering the camera right now. And it would probably work, but I don't know, it would like probably blow your breaker because like it's gonna cause a voltage drop, and since there's no voltage, it's gonna draw a crap ton of amps, and then like that's gonna cause issues. Now, one of the other reasons I got this saw is that it has a very big rip capacity. If you look at it with an untrained eye, it's just like, wow, that's a great deal of ripping you can do right there. But if you pull up this knob here, then this whole side of the table extends out, and now you have a great deal more ripping capacity, up to 18 whole entire inches. Alright, let's get our good push sticks. I'm about to rip through some oak hardwood. Alright, I found one push stick, and here's the other one. Well, it runs at 5,000 RPM instead of 4,800. Big difference, 200 RPM. So that's a cut on that side. And that's this side. A little bit of burning, but man, this saw is very powerful. Very nice cut. Yeah, and I feel a lot safer pushing a piece of wood through here with a riving knife than without one, because like the riving knife is going to keep it from going like this over to the side, and now wham, out through the saw and then getting hit towards me. So that's nice. Now I think I'll try to make some runners for this table saw so I can make a new sled. Alright, let's put a bead of glue on here. Okay, and we'll put it there. I'm deliberately making this bead of glue very small so that it won't squeeze out, because last time I made a cross-cut sled, it squeezed out quite a bit. Now we'll just go ahead Oh god, this is always my least favorite part, because once you go, there's no really going back. Well, what do you know, I didn't like what I had before, so I peeled off the thingies, the runners, and I made a new runner, made 2 new runners, and now I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make it be more like this. Alright, now I just need to cut this down to length, so yeah, we'll adjust the depth and then just get right on with the cut. Kind of worried it's going to go into my hand, but we didn't measure or anything. Sawdust. Alright, crosscuts, that pretty much finished. Yay! Alright, so it's been like, I don't even know how long since I shot the last bit of video. Can you tell which table saw I prefer? Let me show you why. So let's take a look at this saw here. Now if you see here, this is the arbor flange thingamabobber, and it's not press fit, so it comes off, and that's not very precise because it can like wiggle around. So basically it's not very precise, and I actually had an issue where I set the fence by measuring from one tooth of the blade up to the fence, and then once I started the saw and made the cut, then I would actually like get a different cut than what I had measured out. Alright, so I had some trouble getting the nut loosened on my normal table saw. But let's see. You can't really see what's going on here. Let's. Anyways, if we take a look in here, especially if I tilt it over to 45, you can really see that is not coming off. That is actually a press fit flange on there, or it's just machined as one. I really don't get why they would put a press fit flange on such a cheap saw. But what that means is, even though it's not a very big flange, it's gonna really, you know, it's gonna give some more precision than one of those other cheapy flange things. I hadn't taken off the blade for a long time, so it really got stuck in there, so I had to use some oil to get it to come loose. Hopefully I didn't damage anything by prying on stuff so hard, but I think it'll be okay. Now for those who are wondering, this is a Ryobi BTS-10. And the Bosch table saw is a Bosch GT1031S. Alright, so I actually had to go online and I took a look at the parts diagrams of some various saws. So this is the saw that, this is the Ryobi table saw, and you can see here, here's the blade, here's the motor, here's the outer flange, and there's no inner flange, it's actually mounted on the motor here. But then on the Bosch, there's the outer flange, the blade, and then there's an inner flange. So, yeah, I think I'm right, guys. Yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in, like, you know, another, like, 5 months when I make a new video.